He lasted until the 6th round before getting his face caved in. Literally, you can see the x-rays of his jaw online. Jake did not beat the count after absorbing the right hand that broke his jaw, and AJ got the KO. Guys, let me come out and say the story to me coming out of this fight is Jake Paul. This dude is a maniac in the best.
Imagine standing in a Miami ring across from a 243-pound Olympic gold medalist who has spent his life mastering knockouts. For years, Jake Paul was seen as a protected influencer, fighting only retired MMA stars or unskilled athletes. But Friday night, that protection ended. When Anthony Joshua's right hand landed in the 6th round, it wasn't just a punch, it was a structural collapse. Jake's eyes glazed, his mouth hung open, and for a moment, the influencer, boxing, circus felt terrifyingly real. By the 4th knockdown, the spectacle had turned into a serious beating.
His signature overhand right while dropping his left hand. Although the shot lands clean, Joshua takes it well and goes to counter with his own right. But Jake completely crosses his arms, leaving himself wide open for the counter. So Joshua makes him pay with a right.
After his knockout, Jake Paul's jaw was shattered in 2 places, requiring surgery with titanium plates in a week on a liquid diet proof that fame can't shield a fighter from real damage.
The doctor says I may not be able to eat solid food again. He also advised I stop talking shit I can't flush.
Even with his jaw shattered, the experts' reactions shocked the most. On Inside the Ring, Max Kellerman and Malik Scott didn't just discuss Jake Paul's loss, they analyzed the man behind it. Kellerman, who's seen every legendary fighter of the past 30 years, refused to trash Paul, calling him deluded in the best way, a literary hero defying reality. Jake lives in his own imagination, ignoring that he has no business in the ring with an elite heavyweight hand. The stats might just back Kellerman up.
Punches to the head than Anthony Joshua did before the end of the fight. What he did was amazing.
Yes.
And guys, he also did something else by taking this fight. What Jake did was retroactively justify fighting a guy like Tank Davis. Me of having to fight an ancient Mike Tyson or a tiny Tank Davis or an old MMA fighter. I'm really thinking about how to make a global event that people are interested in, that captures your imagination. Watch this. I'll put myself on the short side of that event. By the way, whether or not you agree with that, I don't 100% agree with that way of thinking, but that's his way of thinking. He did it again. And I gotta take my hat off to him. I was amazed that he was able to get into the 6th round with Anthony Joshua.
Believe it or not, before that final bone... Let that sink in for a second. A guy who started boxing on YouTube was touching up a 2-time world heavyweight champion. This is exactly what had the panel so divided. Shady McCoy was particularly sassy about it, calling AJ's performance crude and disappointing.
Believe it or not, before that final crushing right hand, Jake Paul was actually outlanding Anthony Joshua with clean head shots, a YouTube boxer touching up a 2-time world heavyweight champion. That's what divided the panel. Shady McCoy called Joshua's performance crude and disappointing. Tentative, missing 98 of 146 punches. Failing to cut off the ring and fighting like he carried a massive weight on his shoulders.
Saying Jake ran from him because he had to. He with AJ and trade punches until someone laid flat. You were lying to yourself, or you convinced yourself of something you saw in the promo. This was always going to be the way the fight went. I wasn't surprised at all that this is the way that Jake started and pretty much fought the entire time. I was a bit surprised that AJ didn't assert himself this fight. Round 1, very much a feeling out process for AJ. Didn't really look like he did much, but Jake didn't either. There was one right hand that AJ landed in the 1st round that shook Jake up. That's the danger that was coming for Jake the entirety of the fight.
Kellerman thinks he knows why AJ looks so bad, and it's a concept he calls the spectre. 30 seconds, everyone says, so what? He's a YouTuber. But if he gets caught with one lucky shot and loses, his entire legacy is erased in an instant. That fear of embarrassment can paralyze even the best athletes. It turned AJ into a mournful shadow of the guy who fought Wladimir Klitschko to be the elite destroyer the world knows him to be. It took him 6 rounds to do what a rising prospect like Moses Atama probably would have done in 60 seconds.
Jake Paul from the...
This is what Joshua faced a concept Kellerman calls the spectre of disaster. The pressure was immense. Knock out Jake quickly, and it's dismissed. Get caught, and his legacy is erased. That fear paralyzed him, turning Joshua into a shadow of the fighter who dominated. While Vladimir Klitschko in 2017 focused on avoiding mistakes, he lost the killer instinct that defines him, taking 6 rounds to achieve what a rising prospect like Moses Atama might do in a minute.
Fury fight is a tune-up because
That's no telling what happened type of thing?
there's no telling what happened.
Even Malik Scott, a man who lives and breathes elite boxing and trains some of the biggest names in the sport, had to admit he was wrong. Malik came into this as a massive doubter, but seeing Jake get up from 3 separate knockdowns with a broken jaw changed everything. There's a viral clip of Jake in the ring, spitting a tracer of blood onto the canvas while trying to wrap his head around the fact that his face was broken. He wasn't crying or looking for an exit. He was almost proud of the ass whipping he just received. That kind of heart is something you can't teach, and it's why Malik says Jake finally earned his...
Now, he has had 3 real professional fights against guys around his size.
Chavez.
One of them was at, I'm not even talking about Chavez because he was old and came back. I mean guys who are active fighters. He lost to Tommy Fury, and then he beat 2 guys in Florida in smaller events. Cruiserweight fights, he wants a cruiserweight title shot. Now, he'll get it if he wants it because he means a lot of money. Do you think he's ready to fight for a cruiserweight title, Malik?
In 4 or 5 fights, yes I do.
Right, he needs another 4 or 5.
Yeah,
Now,
4 or
but
5.
the danger is he, just like with AJ, he could lose in one of those 4 or 5 fights.
I don't think was against Anthony Joshua. Look how he did. Shady, he did incredible.
By the way, when that fight ended, he was conscious.
Yes.
He got his, like the dude has so much heart.
He
He's
was so
on the
happy
floor
that he had a broken
with a
jaw,
broken jaw, and he's like, whoa.
Even Malik Scott, a seasoned trainer and boxing expert, admitted he was wrong. He doubted Jake Paul, but after seeing him rise from 3 knockdowns with a broken jaw, everything changed. Jake didn't just survive. He stayed conscious and defiant, even spitting blood onto the canvas, processing his broken face without quitting. That kind of heart can't be taught. And it's why Malik says Jake finally earned his respect.
But with that is a lot. It's Jake Paul. We're talking about him fighting real cruiserweight with real records and beating him.
Can he beat his Orcos?
Of course, the internet is having a field day with the medical receipts. Jake didn't waste any time posting his x-rays on social media, showing the 2 fractures highlighted in red. But in true Jake Paul 10 days. It's that exact delusion Kellerman was talking about. Most people would be reconsidering their life choices after a double jaw fracture, but Jake is already marketing the next $50 million event. The big question now is whether the corner should have stepped in sooner. Reddit threads are exploding with fans arrested and severely injured.
A great game plan and preparation, unbelievable heart. And the reality is...
Hold on, first off, it wasn't unbelievable heart. He was dancing around, and there's no shame in that. There's no shame in that because we have weight classes for a reason. But it wasn't unbelievable.
Difference, not because of the skill difference. AJ was hanging on that neck, pushing him down. And when you have someone that heavy constantly doing that, it does suck the energy out of you.
So Jake Paul lost because of the skill difference, not the size difference. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to, as someone that's very experienced in the
The internet is buzzing over Jake Paul's x-rays. She posted showing 2 jaw fractures, highlighted in red while jokingly calling out Canelo Alvarez for a fight in 10 days? That's the delusion Kellerman talked about. Most would reconsider after a double jaw break, but Jake is all ready.